Hey campers, Georgia, back in the man cave. We're getting stronger every day. Persistence. But hey, I still got to keep it easy. Can't get a little crazy out there. So I'm sitting here in the man cave, checking out some things. Yep, 3 little knives. Poor little knives, a little beat up. Let's check them out and see what we can do. Even this is cool. Let's check them out. You know, the past month or so, I've been on I'm going to go find me an old knife to fix up or find something that I like spree within my budget. So we thrifted it. And I went to, you saw the videos, I went to the Dundas swap meet at the Steam and Engine, then went up to another bigger one way up there, which I was totally out of my league. But I did find some stuff, I thought I did good. I found me one of my favorite Zippo styles, the Slim. That was fun. And I even found a little Victorinox. You probably just saw the video, which was just lying there in a box that I picked up with a beat-up lighter and another knife and that Victorinox for $3 for all of them. Well, anyway, I fixed up the Victorinox. I really like that. It turned out really nice. If you haven't seen it, I'll put a link in the description. But these knives, well, I've been looking at these knives, and I was talking to the knife doctor, and he gave me a bunch of links and told me how to search and find out about knives. Man, I wish he hadn't have. Lately, I've been spending a lot of time on the computer just surfing the web, trying to find information on knives. The horror. I don't know how he does it. I suppose he's been doing it, all his life, and most of the stuff for him is memorized. He can just open up a knife, look at the tang stamp, and say, oh, it's a... Whereas me, I'm like, ooh, I got to go home and look it up. So I'm buying on a guess. But you know what? It's fun. I think, ooh, this looks interesting, and then I bring it home and I go, what was I thinking? I have 3 knives here from that whole bunch, and they come from different things. One was sent by a subscriber. One I found at a local thrift store here. This one here was another one from a subscriber. So I want to share them with you. I'm hoping somebody out there can give me some information on some of them, because lost. So here we go. This one is probably the most beat up one I have. But I like the idea of it. Look at it here. It's a little unusual. Look at this thing. Look, these are the things that caught my attention. Those and those. And I thought that's kind of weird, odd. And the handles looked in pretty good condition. So I opened up the blade, and to my horror, that's what I found. But I looked on the tang here. This is what I found out. On the tang here, it says Hammer brand, and it's got the USA along the side of the Hammer brand with the muscle thingy. This is what I found out. I found 2 things conflicting. I suspect the first one is right. The first one says circa 1945 to 1955. The other piece of information I found said fishing folder. It's a fishing folder because apparently that's meant to be the fishy side of it. These are just blade guards. Circa 1920, 1930. Looking at the tang stamp, to me it was 45 to 50. That's what I'm going with. The blade is terrible. It's been beaten up. Obviously the tip of the blade broke off. Could not really find a good picture of it. If I do, I'll post it right here. I've got to do something with that blade and just clean it up in general. Is it a fancy knife? Is it something special? Not really. I don't think so. I mean, it is a Hammer brand, which is nice. I kind of like that idea of Hammer brand or Colonial, or, those ones that have been bought and sold many years ago, but have some history. What am I going to do with this blade? I'm going to have to at least tidy up the front here and try and get a point back on it. I was looking at it. Personally, it's really beat up. And I was thinking of just flattening the blade and making it into a nice little true Warrencliffe. In other words, the long sweeping down to a point, flat, cutting edge blade. That's what I'd like to do. If you know any more information about the Hammer brand and the tang stamp, and you can see it there, and I'll put a picture up right there. And, how to date it, that's what I found. So that's what I want to do with this guy. If you know more information about it, let me know. I suspect it is a 45 to 55. I doubt if it's a 20 to 30s. The only description I got on it was they called it a fishing folder. The next knife I found at the local thrift store that has a lot of stuff in, but they do have a lot of knives. And they have a couple of buckets just with knives thrown in them. Started looking through there, and the young guy was talking to me, and we were going through. And to be honest, I found 5 knives that I thought, oh, these things could be cool, at least just to fix them up. And there was this guy that I really liked, but it's kind of beat up. And it had a sticker on it that said, B pocket knife, $10. Well, that's not what I paid for it, because I pulled out a couple of knives. How much? And he looked at them and he eyed them and he said, you know what, I'll give you a good deal. And I walked out of there for 22 bucks for 5 knives. That's within my budget. Barely. And there was some beaters in there. But this guy, I really liked. I liked the handle on this. Look at this. Very cool handle. I mean, it's rusty on the bolsters and stuff like that. Here's where it gets exciting. This blade, if you look on the tang, all it says is USA. On the main blade, it says Colonial Providence USA 550. Look at that. So it's a Colonial. Which, I looked at that and I thought that handle's really cool, could really clean up the handle. And it being a Colonial in that, I'll look it up. So I got home and I tried. I really did try. And I got nowhere. There's no information on these. I looked at things and people were saying, anybody know about this? And there was really long. I went into a rabbit hole. So here I am looking at you guys again. So like I said, it has these 2 blades. You can see it there. And I love this knife. If I can clean this up, it'll be a beautiful little knife. It's got a pen blade and a clip. And on the pen blade, it says USA. That's all it says. And then on the clip, it says Colonial Providence USA and 550. This thing has a lot of rust on it. You can see here. Look at the rust on this guy. Yeah, it's going to be a challenge. But this is the one. And that it just has the blank shield on it. There's nothing on the shield. I don't know if there was. It looks like there was something on the shield. But, a lot of these shields, in and out of the pocket, in and out of the pocket, they get worn down. They don't get scratched off. It just wears away. So that was number 2. Now, this guy, I really liked. This was sent to me by, a subscriber. It is a 4-tool knife. But it's really cool. It's old school, maybe. Here it is. Here, look at that. See that? Now, interestingly enough, it does have a tang stamp, and this handle is in pretty good condition. Just needs to be cleaned up a little bit. A little concerned about these pins. They look rusty. I don't know if it's because they were replaced, because if you look at the other pins, they're nice and shiny. Now, here's the thing. On the tang stamp, it says Original Tidax, Tidax. And then on the other side, it says Bristol Works, Germany. Yeah, Bristol line, not Bristol Works, sorry. I went and looked about it. Not a lot of information on it. Basically what I found out, it was some guy who made these knives for advertising purposes. He would make knives for company with their logos on and that sort of thing. A lot of images online. I found them all. Here's the thing. The ones I found did have the 4 tools, but not these 4. I found one with this one. The rest just had like a flat, it almost looked like a nail file, but it wasn't. I don't know if it was just a flat blade with a flat end to it, almost like a screwdriver end on it. I'll put a picture up here. I found one other that looked like this, And all they said was it's a gentleman's pocket knife. And as you can see here, you've got 4 tools on it. And we'll go through them right now. They're very cool. This is a really nice little knife. I like it. It's so unusual. You know, the advertising ones are out there. They're normally pretty junky. But this is a German one. How good it is, at least the steel should be pretty good. It's a main blade. And it's a pen blade. And if you look on here, you can see the tang stamp close up of it. See that? And it's Bristol line or whatever, Germany. On the other side, it says original Tydex. Now, all the pictures that I saw of the different ones all did have that original Tydex on it. Is the other tool, and it's a nail file. You can see it there. And it has these long, thin things there. I don't know why they do that. I just call them railway tracks. And it's got a nice, good little point on it there to clean up underneath your nails and that sort of stuff. So that was cool. Has scissors. And I just got to find the nail nick. Unusual nail nicks. See here? Look at that. Look where the nail nick is there, right there. And surprisingly, that spring is pretty good. How sharp the scissors are. Cuts paper fine. So you can see there. There's no other markings on this thing. Then they have that other blade. Let me find that. Which is kind of unusual. You probably have seen this before. You guys. You don't see it that often. And I could tell you I had to hunt to find it on this knife. Now I know it. This blade, I personally have seen them before in other situations, and I've always known it as an orange peeler. You see this little piece here, and you got a tip. So if you have an orange, you can put this in and you ran your hand around it, and you could divide it into 4 quarters and pull, you know, the peel off really easy. Blade. You could use that on anything, apples, on any vegetable or anything like that. It's not a true blade. This is kind of sharp at the end there. And this should come to a little bit better point on it, and we can fix that up. And then you've got this little piece here, so you put it in and you... So now they come in different ones. They had single blade, 2 blade, 3 blade, 4 blade, and I found a 5 blade. The interesting thing is that everything comes out of one bolster. It's all on one end. So I thought that was pretty. So I want to clean this up and make it look nice and everything, and find as much information again. So I'm looking at you guys. Help me here. So that's good. These are the 3 knives I want to look at today. Got a lot of work to do on these. I'm going to do that really quickly. I'll just show you the highlights. And then hopefully when I'm done, we can look at it again and see if I actually improved them. And then maybe think about sheaths and things like that. But that's another story. So, here we go. So we got this guy here, and he's pretty rusty and whatnot. The first thing I've got to do is get this stuff off, like the sticker and that sort of thing, and start getting the rust off. Now, this rust is pretty bad. If you look carefully at it, it's not exactly the best. I'm going to use alcohol to get this sticker off and everything. See what we can do with that, because the alcohol will get rid of that glue, the goop, just like that. See that? Look at that. Takes it off in a hurry. You can see how this is worn away. So let's get the rest of this stuff off here. So we got all that off. Now let's look at these blades. Some rust on the blades. The points need to be cleaned up, sharpened, and just the general. And of course the bolsters. The real problem here is the back. I'm just going to close this all up, and I'm going to spray it with WD-40. I want it to soak in there, and I'm going to start on the rust. And then just work the blades a little bit here. Surprisingly, with all the rust and everything, there's still some spring in those. I'll let that soak a little bit. Give it a good soaking. So I've got just a little Scotch-Brite thing I want to try first. See if we can work some of that rust off. get the Dremel for this one. Let's see if we can actually scrape some off here. Yeah, it's really thick. So scraping it with the screwdriver is getting a lot of the heavy rust off. Oh, look at that. We're getting down there. I'm just going to carry on scraping this a little bit more. Okay, we're getting somewhere now. I let it soak for a while. I'm going to get my Dremel, I'm going to try something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit it up here without getting too close to the scales and see how we do. See if it'll get that rust off. So a subscriber sent me these. See these? They are a bunch of different grits for a Dremel for cleaning up. Green is 180. So I'm going to try that on the blades to start. You can see the blade here. Wow. Let's look at this blade. It's not too bad. Let's give it a quick whiz. So here, I'm going to open them up. Let's wipe it off. So now you can see how much cleaner the blades and the bolsters are. Now the rust, obviously you can see here, there's a lot of pitting, which is what has happened on the back here. I'm wondering if I could just hit that with a very fine file and maybe cut down on the pitting without touching this. I'm going to give that a try. I'm just using a little diamond file here, and it's getting into the pitting, but there's a lot to go. There you can see there how here, that's where it's all pitted away. And as I'm filing and I get into it, but the problem is what I'm doing, the pitting is eaten into the steel, so the pitting's lower than the real steel. So I can't do this too much, but I can make it look a little bit better. So I actually changed my brusher from the green to the brown, which is actually 120, which is a little bit tougher than that. Oh, that better look better. Now I've got to get in there and clean that. I need a thinner. Ooh, was sent to me by a subscriber, Minnesota Gary, and he sent me this as part of that, a very nice toothpick. So you can see that guy there, very sharp. Man, I can feel it scratching up the rough stuff. Some of the goop out of here. and see what we have left. Alcohol. As a propos, whatever it's called. Alcohol. The alcohol is going to take all the greasy, oily WD-40 off. And then what I'll do is I have some oil. I have some natural mineral oil I like to use. One of the reasons is, you never know, I might use this to cut food. Actually, this cleaned up pretty good. Very exciting. So now, I'm going to put some mineral oil on here. Okay, I'm just wiping all the excess. I put too much oil on, but that's okay. It's not going to harm it. Oh, hold on. Okay, now I can see better without the safety glasses. By the way, even that small little hand Dremel, this stuff here, when it cleans up, it actually breaks off and flies off. So I could feel it hitting my face, but I had my safety glasses on. I'm pretty sure it was hitting that. So please, people, you do this. Safety first. Here it is here. See that? Now, the paint has come out, or whatever they used on there, and maybe I can fix that. I can put paint in there, but I like the whitish on brown and faded. It's a used knife. It's an old guy. So there you have it there. You can see there. And then the blades actually cleaned up pretty good. I was pleasantly surprised. So here you can see the blades. Look at that. They cleaned up really nice. Even the bolsters did pretty good. I need to polish them because I was using that heavier cleaning tool. Now here, all that heavy rust that was there is gone. What you're seeing here is the pitting, and filing a bit, I filed it down just to smooth it out. You can still feel it. It's a little rough, but it's a lot better than it was. That the big spring has it snap back on it. This one snaps back this way. Great. Okay. But going in, it's a little slow. See that? I got to assist it a little bit. I love doing this. I can see why people do this. Very satisfying. And now look at me. I have a Colonial Unknown. Now all I have to do is just, I'm going to go over the blade, put a better point on there, and same with the pen, go over it, sharpen it, clean it up. It would be nice to have a little slip for this, and I may just do that, but that's another time. I've already run out of time here. I'm way over. Took a little bit longer. This guy, I think, is going to land up being a separate video. This guy here, to be honest, very little work. Probably just need to sharpen the blades and give it a clean. And that's it. There's no rust, very little rust or anything on it. So there you go. What can I say? Once again, bad planing. This is all new to me. You could see the tools I use, nothing fancy. The fanciest I got was my little handheld Dremel, which works great for me. I feel I have better control. Let me know if you know anything about the knives. I'd appreciate it. Because why? I don't. And when you're doing this, now a lot of my videos I like to show you what I'm doing, and hopefully you can see what I'm doing, and maybe you'll get interested and try it yourself. The next thing I'm going to be doing is finding a really beat up knife and taking it apart to have a look at how they come apart, clean it up as much as possible, and put it back together and see if it still works. I don't care what knife it is, but you know, that's how you learn. You all be safe out there if you do this stuff, lots of sharp stuff and things like that. Wear gloves when you're using things like WD-40 and that. You don't want to get that all over you. Avoid getting contact with stuff that you're working with. And don't forget, like, share, subscribe. You know the story. And I'll be back. I've got to finish those up. And truth be told, I've got a bunch of other ones sitting down there that I need to work on. I need to plan the videos better so you can see the whole process. Thanks for watching. Always appreciate it. We'll see you again soon. Yep, that'll work.